Good day everyone, this is Given A. De Los Reyes and i-discuss ko po is about checking credit worthiness and evaluation. So for introduction, yung credit worthiness assessment, nakakatulong siya para sa mga businesses para ma-determine kung yung customer ba ay kaya magbayad ng kanyang hiniram na pera. So, over time, yung mga credit investigators, nagkaroon sila ng mas madaming access sa mas madaming sources para sa credit information. So, dahil dito, mas napapadali yung kanilang evaluation process. However, yung pag-handle ng mga information na yan, ay kailangan ng confidentiality at completeness para ma-maintain yung trust between creditors and customers. So, ano ba yung confidentiality? So, credit information, kailangan strictly confidential siya at kailangan gamitin lang para ma-assess yung customer's ability to pay. So, hindi siya para sa competitive advantage. So, yung identity ng both inquirer and the source ay kailangan mapanatiling private. So, sharing data without permission, dahil doon, maaari niyang ma-break yung trust at ma-limit yung future access para sa credit reports. So, for example na lang dito is yung bangko. Nag-ask siya sa another financial institution about a client's credit history. So, kung yung institution na yun, shinare niya yung data without the client's consent. So, it breaches confidentiality and maaari siyang maharap sa mga legal consequences. Second is yung completeness. So, yung credit inquiries must be clear and precise. So, dito, magkakaroon siya ng accurate details about the customers. So, kung ano yung dahilan kung bakit mayroong inquiry and also yung amount involved. So, yung mga responses, kailangan ay timely and detailed. So, kailangan ma-ensure na yung mga financial records are relevant para ma-consider. So, for example na lang is yung company nag-request siya ng credit report for a potential supplier pero nag-provide siya ng incomplete business name. So, dito, maaaring mag-lead ito sa error at delays para magkaroon or makuha nila yung right financial data. So, ma-affect dito yung kanilang business decisions. So, ito po yung Code of Credit Information Exchange. So, ano ba ito? Ito yung process ng pagkakaroon ng palitan ng credit information na syempre governed siya ng strict confidentiality and ethical guidelines para ma-maintain yung trust ng financial system. So, number one is the first and cardinal principle in credit investigation is to respect the confidential nature of the information received. So, nandun yung confidentiality. Second, the name of the inquirer in whose behalf the inquiry is made should not be disclosed without permission. So, kailangan nandun yung non-disclosure. So, yung mga identities ng mga inquirers information sources ay kailangan hindi sila ma-share without permission. So, kailangan lagi may permission. Third is, in answering inquiries, the source of the information should not be disclosed without permission. So, number 4, any betrayal of confidence stumps the offender unworthy of future consideration. So, number 4, nandun yung clear and responsible inquiries. Number 5, each letter of inquiry should indicate specifically the object and scope of the inquiry. So, kailangan yung mga responses to credit inquiry should be truthful and complete. So, dito na po papasok yung accuracy and honesty. So, number 6 naman, when more than one inquiry on the same subject is sent simultaneously to banks, it should be indicated that inform their own files is sufficient as other checkings are being made. So, dito, kailangan magkaroon ng efficient file management. So, yung mga unnecessary revisions and yung duplicate inquiries ay kailangan ma-minimize para maiwasan yung waste. Okay, so number 7 naman, all letters, including from letters, should bear the manual signature of the inquirer to establish responsibility. Sa 8, the recipient of credit inquiry is negligent in his duty if he does not read carefully each letter of inquiry and answers truthfully to be the best of his ability each specific questions. 9. In answering inquiries, it is advisable to disclose all material facts bearing on the credit standing of the subject, including the basis upon which credit was extended. Number 10. Indiscriminate revisions of files when there is no real need for information is wasteful and undesirable. So, number 11, where periodic revisions of file information is made, it may be desirable to give your own experience in the letter of inquiry and argue that duplication and unnecessary correspondence may be kept to a minimum. So last is, in soliciting accounts, it is not permission nor the good faith of the soliciting inquirer to make inquiries from a competitor without truthfully disclosing the nature and object of the inquiry. So for example is yung company nag-assess siya ng potential supplier's credit worthiness. So kailangan ma-ensure niya na yung inquiry is properly documented, respects confidentiality, and hindi niya dinidisclose yung mga sensitive information without consent. So, yun po yung Code of Credit Information Exchange. So, next naman po is yung credit investigation and evaluation. So, itong process na to is crucial siya. So, crucial siya in determining whether a borrower is financially capable of repaying a loan. So, involves dito yung 3 major phases. So, number 1 is yung gathering credit information. So, dito, nagkakolect ng mga financial data through interviews, documents, and references. So, second naman is yung analyzing credit information. So, dito, ina-assess yung credit history, payment patterns, and financial health. Third is in dissemination of credit information. So, nagpo-provide naman dito ng final credit report para ma-support yung decision making. So, dito, papasok yung credit analyst or yung credit and collection head. So, siya yung responsible para sa evaluation process. So, dito naman, ito yung kailangang nilalaman ng investigation report or yung mga key factors ng credit evaluation. So, syempre, sa number 1, nandun yung credit history and reputation. So, nandito yung borrower's past payment behavior with other creditors. So, sa number 2 naman, yung loan amount and type, kung magkano bang, kung ilan ba yung credit na nire-request and kung para saan ba gagamitin yung credit na yon. So, sa number 3 naman is yung purpose ng loan. So, nandun papasok yung questions na what is its repayment feature? For credit to be assessed, will the credit transaction finance the purchasing or the selling end? Will the credit applied for enable the business to secure liberal discounts for cash or to finance its inventories or receivables? C, is it to finance stock, to finance for slow turnover, or inventory? Okay? So, sa number 4 naman, is yung collateral at security. So, yung assets na ino-offered as security for the loan. So, yung tinatawag na collateral. So, sa number 5, is yung sources and mode of payment. So, dito papasok kung paano ba yung borrower, paano ba ini-intend ng borrower para makapagbayad ulit. So, maaaring business cash flow siya or salary. So, sa number 6 is yung nature of the business. So, dito whether the business is established, profitable ba siya, or financially stable. Ayan. So, ito naman po yung step-by-step credit investigation process. So, sa number 1 is yung sales department receives a credit application. So, dito nagkakaroon ng preliminary interview. So, kung promising siya, kailangan yung application ay ipadala sa credit department. So, sa number 2 naman, yung credit department review. So, dito yung application, if viable ba siya, detailed credit investigation ay ginagawa para dito. So, kung sakaling ma-reject man siya, yung sales department ay inform niya yung mga reasons for denial. So, sa number 3 naman, during the credit investigation, the investigator studies the request in greater deal. So, dito nagkakaroon ng deeper analysis, including interviews for clarification. So, yung recommendation din dito is ginagawa. So, maaring approval, denial, or deferment. So, sa number 4 naman, if the application is supported by collateral, an inspection and appraisal of the collateral must be conducted. So, dito yung mga real estates or assets ay ini-inspect. So, usually, ginagawa to ng licensed appraiser. So, kung yung if the credit investigator is trained, so maaari rin niyang i-handle yung appraisal. So, next is elements of credit. So, yung credit, binibuild siya on trust. And syempre, kasama din doon yung inherent risk na kailangan ma-manage carefully. So, yung mga businesses nag-offer sila ng credit, kailangan ma-assess nila yung mga multiple factors before approving a loan or credit line. So, yung number 1 dito is yung trust or confidence. So, yung trustworthiness, it refers to a debtor's integrity and yung ability niya para makapag-bayad ulit. So, hindi siya solely based sa wealth or reputation. Sa halip ay based siya sa creditor's personal knowledge of the debtor's financial behavior. So, for example na lang is yung small business owner na may limited assets pero meron siyang strong track record ng on-time ng pababayad. So, dahil doon ay considered pa rin yun na credit worthy. The second is yung risk. So, yan. Dito naman sa risk, so, syempre, yung pagpapautang, talagang involved siya ng risk. So, and yung level ng risk ay tumataas with the amount of credit extended. So, yung mga factors na maaring maka-impact sa risk, included doon yung political instability, economic downturns, and financial mismanagement. So, ito yung mga 5 factors of analysis of credit risk. So, number 1 is yung personal factor. So, dito yung debtor's integrity, involved dito yung debtor's integrity, background, and payment history. Second is yung performance factor. So, involved dito yung debtor's past ability para ma-meet yung financial obligations. Third is economic factor, the overall financial health of the debtor and market conditions. So, number 4 is yung risk factor. So, ito na po yung level of uncertainty in repayment. So, number 5 is yung security factor. So, nandito po yung presence of collateral or yung mga guarantees. So, for example na lang po dito is yung company, nag-decline siya ng sales and rising debts. So, dito, nagkakaroon ng extending ng credit sa kanila. Yung extending of credit sa kanila could be risky, lalo na kung wala siyang collateral. Okay, so next naman po is managing the credit risk. So, yung credit risk, mas tumataas siya kapag yung mga debtors or yung mga nanghihiram ng pera ay hindi sila nakakapagbayad. So, bukod doon, yung lacks of proper documentation o kaya nagkakaroon sila ng financial instability. So, kailangan dito, yung creditor, kailangan niyang ma-assess talaga yung debtor's financial position bago siya mag-approve ng credit. So, yung credit risk, kinocompose siya ng performance risk, liquidity risk, and policy and system risk. So, sa performance risk, ito yung debtor's ability para ma-fulfill yung obligation. So, sa liquidity risk, ito yung debtor's ability para ma-convert yung mga assets into cash for repayment. So, sa policy and system risk naman, ito yung internal risk within a business or organization. So, for example, yung customer, meron siyang history na madalas siyang ma-default sa makapagbayad sa mga small loans. So, ibig sabihin, hindi to good na candidate para sa mas malaking credit approvals. Okay? Para naman sa credit risk management process. So, ito is structured risk management approach siya para ma-ensure yung mga credit decisions are well-informed and responsible. So, included dito yung 5 C's of credits, yung character, capacity, capital, condition, and collateral. So, yung character, siya yung ina-assess dito yung borrower's reputation and trustworthiness. Sa capacity naman, kung financially stable ba siya or financially makakapagbayad. Tapos, yung capital naman, yung borrower's financial resources and investments. So, yung sa condition naman is yung overall economic and industry environment. At yung collateral, ito po yung assets na pinipledge as security for the loan. So, for example, startup may have, so for example, yung startup, maaari siya magkaroon ng strong character and capacity, pero lack of capital and collateral. So, hindi porket may strong character and capacity siya, possible na siya na makapag-loan. So, kung may strong character and capacity siya, pero wala naman siyang, or kulang naman siya sa capital and collateral, so, dahil dito, magkakaroon pa rin ng higher risk borrower. So, yung causes of credit risk naman, So, dito, several external and internal factors contribute to credit risk. So, included na po dyan yung adverse macroeconomic business cycle, product cycle, health, financial condition of debtor. So, din yung competition and industry trends. Yung capacity to absorb disturbances caused by aberrations in cash flow, leverage, capital, and management experience. So, yung integrity and reputation problems, law and regulatory developments, and yung credit performance. So, ano ba yung kailangang gawin? So, kailangan mapalakas yung credit data collection at analysis. So, dito merong mga various credit and finance organization katulad ng BAP, FINEX, RBAP, and CCAP. So, kailangan nilang mag-work together para ma-develop yung Unified Credit Assessment System para ma-ensure yung consistent risk evaluation across industries. So, aside from that, nagkakaroon din ng establishing ng centralized non-profit credit data service. So, ito, matutulungan yung mga businesses para ma-inform ng about credit decisions. Second, pwede rin yung developing standardized credit evaluation metrics. So, dito yung mga creditors, ina-assess mo yung mga debtors using measurable financial performance indicators rather than relying solely on character assessments. So, syempre, kailangan din i-consider dito yung risk ratings. So, sa risk ratings, nandun yung probability of default, financial capacity, and past performance, and credit score model suited for a developing economy. Third, nandun din yung credit risk management strategies. So, dito, nagkakaroon ng establishment ng credit limits and conditions based on debtors' risk rating. So, nag-i-implement din sila ng credit pricing strategies na mag-reflect sa risk level ng mga borrowers. And also, they set clear bad debt write-off standards para ma-minimize yung financial losses. So, next is credit diversification. So, bakit ba ito important? So, important ito kasi madaming businesses yung nag-feel na may diversify yung kanilang credit allocation. So, dahil dito, naglilid ito sa excessive financial exposure only in one sector. So, kapag walang proper credit diversification, yung company's risk, magiging severe financially instability siya kung yung industry or market segment collapses. Okay, so ito yung mga best practices for credit diversification. Ayan, so sa number 1, so, ibig sabihin yan, nagsaset lang yung single debtor or group credit limits para ma-prevent yung overexposure para sa isang client or industry. So, sa second naman is yung diversity in credit allocation across different industries, products, and customer types. So, number 3 naman, ayan, yung sabihin yan is pina-prioritize niya yung target market criteria while maintaining balanced risk distribution. Okay. So, ito naman yung basis of credit. So, ito yung 6 C's of credit. Number 1 is yung sa character. So, dito yung applicant's integrity, trustworthiness, and moral standing. In-evaluate din dito yung family, social, and business relationship para ma-engage yung kanilang reliability. So, dito din yung primary factor in consumer credit decisions. So, next naman is yung capital. So, this is the applicant's owned assets. So, either movable ba siya or immovable. So, included dito yung lands, vehicles, jewelry, stocks, and property rights. So, ito rin yung ino-often or kadalasan na nire-review kapag mag-apply ka sa bank loans. So, okay? So, yung take note lang ha, yung capital and collateral, magkaiba po sila. Okay? So, sa number 3 naman is yung capacity. So, ito yung applicant's ability para mag-generate na income para sa kanilang repayment. So, dito, kung yung isang tao ay walang capital, so, pwede rin siya mag-grant ng credit if their business shows strong potential. So, sa number 4 naman is yung condition. So, referring naman to sa external factors na nakaka-affect sa debtor's ability to repay. Included na po dito yung economic trends, political stability, industry conditions, and personal financial health. So, para naman sa collateral or security, so, yan, additional assets siya as pledge as security for the credit obtained. So, yung collateral is different from capital. Kasi yung capital, siya yung pagmamayari ng debtor. Yung collateral naman, ito yung pledges ng debtor in case of default. So, number 6, connection. So, sabi dyan, a good connection does help in getting the credit applicant credit. So, dito, sa connection, this is who the applicant knows can influence credit decisions. So, maaaring yung Filipino culture, values, ng personal relationships, di ba? Meron tayo tinatawag na hiya or yung utang na loob. So, sometimes leading siya sa unscientific lending practices. So, meron din dito yung lenders. So, kailangan yung lenders, kailangan i-balance yung personal collection niya with financial prudence para maiwasan yung bad debts. So, this is the financial factors to check on credit applicants. So, number 1 is yung liquidity ratios. Ayan, minimeasure niya yung firm's ability to meet short-term obligations. So, for example, na lang dyan is yung current ratio, quick asset test ratio, and cash flow to current debt service. So, second naman is yung financial factors to check on credit applicant is yung leverage ratios. So, dito naman, minimeasure niya kung how much of the applicant's business is financed by debt. So, nandito naman lahat ng utang ng applicants. Okay? So, for example, dito is yung debt to equity ratio, yung debt ratio, and time interest earned ratio. Number 3 is yung profitability ratios. Ayan, ina-assess naman niya how efficiently management generates returns from sales and investment. So, for example, is yung net profit margin, return on assets, or yung ROA, return on equity, or ROE, and earnings per share. So, number 4 naman is yung efficiency ratios. So, dito, in-evaluate kung gaano ba ka-effective yung applicant uses resources. So, for example, na lang dito is yung asset turnover ratio and inventory turnover ratio. So, nandito din yung average collection period. Included din po. So, for non-financial factors of credit evaluation, ayan. Kung halimbawa na yung financial statements are unreliable or unavailable, so yung mga businesses, maaari nilang evaluate yung credit applicant's overall profile using non-financial factors. Ayan, non-financial factors or standards to check based on average are, ayan. So, ito naman yung bonus non-financial factors to check. Ayan. So, non-financial penalty factors to check. And the basic factors of non-financial evaluation. And established customer. And then, so in general experience background. Age of the business and evidence of sound growth potential. Impression of sales personnel, the credit manager, other suppliers. And adequacy of resources and availability of financing. Maximum points, 20. So, dyan, nakalagay na din dyan. Stated na rin po. So, dito naman po sa penalties. So, nandito yung recent litigation. So, included dito yung question na kung ano ba klaseng type of case yung final. So, maaaring trade credit disputes or damage claims. And second question is yung kung yung case ba na yun ay na-settled or na-remain unresolved. So, another one is yung recent insolvency. So, dito kung yung business ba na filed for suspension of payments, receivership, or rehabilitation.